before the break of dawn, holding pieces of a dream I thought were long gone. The world felt cold and hollow, no tomorrow in my sight. But somewhere in the darkness I still search for a light. Then suddenly the wind stood still and fate began to breathe. I turned around and saw you there, like a glow I could believe. The moment that I saw you, the world began to turn again. Time that once was frozen started moving from within. Your presence broke the silence and washed the shadows from my eyes. The beginning of forever lived inside that one sunrise. Words were never needed, your eyes already spoke to mine. They knew the weight I carried, every scar I tried to hide. But somehow you embraced it, made the broken feel alive. You healed the quiet aching just by standing by my side. Something shifted deep inside, a destiny without a name. But even then I recognized my life would never be the same. The moment that I saw you, the colors all returned to me. Loneliness that chained me faded into memory. One smile from you was enough to make the darkness disappear. The beginning of forever was already waiting here. If I had walked a little faster, if we had passed in separate worlds, my sky would still be colorless, my hope forever curled. But you appeared like starlight cutting through a heavy night. Took my troubling hand and whispered, you still have a fight. Our meeting was a miracle that rewrote everything I knew. The gears of fate awakened the moment I found you. A future made for both of us was shining in your eyes. The beginning of forever started with our first The memory of that morning still echoes in my chest. Everything began that day, and it's the moment I love best. stood beneath the streetlight in the quiet after rain. Your shadow shook with every breath, like it was holding all the pain. We both knew what was coming, though neither dared to say. The end was slowly forming in the silence of that day. Your voice tried to be stronger, but it trembled when you spoke. The promises we once believed were fading into smoke. This is the last goodbye, a moment carved in time, a love that burned so fiercely, now slipping from the mind. I wish I could rewind it back to when you held me tight, but this is where our story turns into a different night. Your hand began to loosen, as if afraid to let me go. But holding on much longer would only bruise us both. We tried to save the moment, but the moment wasn't ours. The future we had dreamed of was already losing power. I memorized your breathing, the way your tears fell slow, because after 2 nights ending, it's all I'll ever know. This is the last goodbye, where 2 hearts fall apart. The echo of your laughter still tearing at my heart. If love was meant forever, why does it hurt to breathe tonight? Still, this is where our story fades into a softer light. Maybe in another lifetime our paths would never break. Maybe we'd grow older with the choices we could make. But destiny is cruel, it never asks us what we fear. It only takes the precious things we're trying to keep near. So this is the last goodbye. I'll whisper through the dark, I'll carry you forever in the quiet of my heart. Though everything is ending, one truth will still survive. Loving you was worth it, even in this last goodbye. Streetlights slowly flickered as your footsteps disappear. I stayed until the sunrise, holding everything we share. Sirens broke the silence across a dying sky. The city lights were trembling like they knew their time to die. We stood upon the rooftop watching everything decay, but still your hand in mine told me we'd face another day. Even when the ground was shaking and the air was filled with dust, you whispered, if this is ending, then let it end with us. In the ashes of the world, we stood against the fire. When everything was falling, you were my last desire. Even as the darkness covered every distant shore, I loved you in the ashes more than ever before. Buildings turned to shadows, memories to smoke. The things we thought were permanent became fragile, easily broke. But in the burning chaos, your eyes remained so clear, as if the universe itself had brought me to you here. We knew we had no future, but still held on to the night, because love was our rebellion and we chose to fight. In the ashes of the world, we swore we wouldn't break, holding on to every heartbeat like the last one we could take. Even when the future didn't matter anymore, I loved you in the ashes deeper than If the stars were falling, I'd still shelter you with me. If the ocean swallowed cities, I'd stay by you endlessly. The world can turn to silence, but one thing still remains. The love we built together outlast the fire and flame. In the ashes of the world, we chose to stand as one. If everything is ended, at least our love was never done. When the final light is fading and the night forever calls, I'll hold you in the ashes as the last world falls. The sky collapsed around us, yet your heartbeat stayed alive. And even in the ending, together we survived. I wore a crown of glory, made of everything I dreamed. But somewhere in the shadows, it was cracking at the seams. The people that I trusted were the first to walk away, and every word of promise turned to ashes in a day. In the mirror I was breaking, piece by piece I fell apart. But somewhere in the ruins I heard the beating of my heart. My shattered crown is lying in the dust beneath my feet. The taught me what it means to truly stand, a ruler of my scars, a survivor of this land. I leave behind the ruins, but I carry what I've learned, a kingdom made from sorrow, where the wounded kings return.
I found your faded letters hidden in a wooden drawer. The ink had lost its color, but the pain remained much more. I lit a match with trembling hands and watched the fire rise. But even as it burned to ash, your shadow wouldn't die. The flames were dancing softly, but my heart was burning wild. I'm trying to forget you, but I've always been your child. I'm burning every letter, but your memory survives. No fire can erase you. You're a ghost inside my life. I whisper to the ashes, hoping they will set me free. But every burning letter takes a part of me. Your voice was in the margins, your smile between the lines. Every promise written still echoes in my mind. The smoke curl like your fingers touching me once again. And though the paper vanished, the hurt refused to end. I thought the fire would save me from the weight of what we were, but memories burn deeper than anything on earth. I'm burning every letter, but I can't escape your name. My heart is still your prison, and my soul is still aflame. I beg the rising smoke to carry all the pain away, but every burning letter makes the past here to stay. I wish I could forget you, like the paper turns to dust. But love is made of iron, and it never turns to rust. If healing means surrender, then I will stand and fall. For even burning letters can't erase it all. I'm burning every letter, yet your memory remains a fire with like a wound across the sky. Soldiers marched in silence with no strength to question why. The air was thick with sorrow and the ground with broken dreams, but still we kept on walking through the echoes of our screams. Every step was heavy, every breath a fight, but hope was in the distance like a single point of light. On the crimson horizon we walked through fire and fear, but somewhere in the darkness a better dawn was near. Though the night tried to break us and the world looked so undone, we marched toward tomorrow and the rising of the sun. The memories of home were the armor on our skin. We carried every promise of the life we'd live again. The shadows tried to claim us, but we pushed them far away, believing in the morning of another peaceful day. We might be torn and weary, but we never truly fall. For hope is not a whisper, it's a voice inside us all. On the crimson horizon, where the wounded hearts collide, we kept our spirits burning with the fire deep inside. For even in destruction, the new world can be begun. We walk toward the future and the rising of the If the world must end in fire, then let courage take the lead. If the sky must fall in darkness, let our hearts be what we bleed. For everything we're losing will return when war is done. The crimson horizon still promises a sun. On the crimson horizon we fight until we heal. Through the storm and chaos we never cease to feel. And when the night is over, a new age has begun. We stand upon the ashes and we rise to meet the shadows calling from the place I used to hide. They whispered ancient secrets that were buried deep inside. My heartbeat turned to thunder like a warning in the air. I knew the dark was waking and it wanted me back there. Temptation spread its wings, inviting me to fall. I stood between the heavens and the whisper of my flaws. With black wings rising, I faced the darker skies. My demons tried to claim me and pull me back to life.
things I couldn't change, but even in the darkness, my spirit stayed unchanged. I learned that true salvation is not from angel songs. It's fighting with your shadow and proving you belong. With black wings rising, I soared above my fears. The darkness tried to drown me in oceans made of tears, but I ignited fire and burned through every sin. With black wings rising, I fight the war within. If darkness is my nature, then light is what I choose. A warrior made of shadows who refuses still to lose. I spread my wings of midnight and face the coming storm. For even broken angels can rise again reborn. With black wings rising, I claim the sky again. The demons fall behind me. Defeated by my flame, my soul is forged in fire, stronger than it's ever been. With black wings rising, I win the war within. I win the war
began to settle on the battles we survived. The echoes of the chaos slowly faded from our minds. The world felt cold and fragile, like a stranger in our hands. But somewhere in the stillness, a new heartbeat began. We stood among the ruins of everything we knew, but in the empty silence, a brand new world broke through. When the world starts over, we'll rise from every scar, holding on to lessons that remind us who we are. The future may be fragile, but together we'll begin. When the world starts over, we'll learn how to live again. We'll learn how to live again. The memories of darkness will never fully fade, but they will guide our footsteps in choices that we make. We'll build a safer future from the stones of yesterday. For every end can lead us to a brighter, braver day. We won't forget the past, but we won't let it define. For even broken people can create a new design. When the world starts over, we'll rise from dust and tears, facing every sunrise without the weight of fear. The scars upon sunrise, a new life softly grows. When the world starts over, we'll bloom from what we chose. There are no stars tonight. The sky is black and still. The wind forgot its whisper. The night forgot its will. I'm walking through the quiet with memories in tow, hoping that the darkness will tell me where to go. But silence holds no answers, and shadows have no name. I'm searching for the meaning in a world that's lost in flame. There are no stars tonight, but I still lift my eyes. Even when the heavens are empty of their light, for somewhere in the darkness a spark still waits to shine. There are no stars tonight, but one day they'll be mine. Your voice is like an echo, drifting on the wind, a ghost that softly guides me to where we might have been. The future feels so hollow, like a bog without an end, but still I keep on walking to where the lost hearts mend. Even in the vastness of a night without a guide, I feel your warmth beside me, like a fire deep inside. There are no stars tonight, but the night won't last forever. The sky may hide its beauty, but it cannot hide it always. For though the dark is heavy and the road is undefined, there are no stars tonight, but someday they will shine. Maybe I am broken, maybe that's okay. Maybe strength is simply choosing not to walk away. I'll keep on searching upward, even in the blindest night. For hope is not in starlight, but in choosing still to fight. There are no stars tonight, but I can't dust began to settle on the battles we survived, the echoes of the chaos slowly faded from our minds. The world felt cold and fragile, like a stranger in our hands. But somewhere in the stillness, a new heartbeat began. We stood among the ruins of everything we knew, but in the empty silence, a brand new world broke through. When the world starts over, we'll rise from every scar, holding on to lessons that remind us who we are. The future may be fragile, but together we'll begin. When the world starts over, we'll learn how to live again. The memories of darkness will never fully fade, but they will guide our footsteps in choices that we make. We'll build a safer future from the stones of yesterday, for every end can lead us to a brighter, braver day. We won't forget the past, but we won't let it define, for even broken people can create a new design. When the world starts over, we'll rise from dust and tears, facing every sunrise without the weight of fear. The scars upon our history will shape what we defend. When the world starts over, we'll learn how to live again. How to live again. If hope was ever fragile, it now becomes our core. For even in destruction, a stronger heart is born. We hold the hands beside us and breathe